Hi guys, here from Pax Europiana, from the most expensive shopping street of Vienna, where all this Russian money is parked. Yeah? And I call for confiscation of Russian property in Austria, and also for the end of energy stop imports. Yeah? It's absolutely reasonable that we continue to buy Russian gas and Russian oil and Russian coal, and in the European Union also Russian uranium. And this despite all the terrible atrocities, war crimes the war criminal Putin is doing against Ukraine. And that's of course a treason. I made it very clear now in all my statements on Twitter, in German and in English, and I want to repeat it. Yeah? This is treasonable activity from the Austrian and the German political elite in the name of their economic interest, which is quite fine. You know, it's not, and this is actually another issue I will cover. But we have all this wealth and riches, and we then do this kind of policy when the situation is escalating with war crimes and atrocities in Ukraine. It's no longer funny, and we have to stop this complicity in the war crimes of Putin, which is happening despite all our wealth and riches, which I show you is substantial. And we continue to do it. We continue our policy because, we will have problems without Russian gas, without Russian coal. And Mariupol and Kharkiv are under siege, bombarded by the Soviet Russian artillery. And we are doing about nothing. Continuing business as usual, blocking the European Union. American president has to explain the 4 gallon per liter. It's of course much cheaper still than in America than in Europe because of our high taxations. But the American president is explaining the cost of the defense of freedom of Europe is not for free. And we in Europe have these nice flags of the European Union, but we continue our policy of high treason and of treason against Ukraine. I mean, that nobody has any morality anymore in Austrian politics is shocking enough. And then they say, solidarity with Ukraine. But on the substance, I put the 10 points, on the substance of EU membership, NATO membership, of the currency pact, of the customs union, of a substantive economic and military help for Ukraine, the European Union has done nothing. Nothing on the integration into the Southeastern European reform mechanisms, which is so logically. Nothing on the economic things I've already put. Nothing, almost nothing, some old GDR weapons the Germans have given. But overall, there is a big zero. And of course, the continuation of the nuclear policy of Russia in Finland, the power station in Hungary, in the supply of Russian energy all over. And all this is continuing. So we have, of course, in Germany so-called Zeitenwende, like an epoch-changing event with the 100 billion. But if you calculate that this is only half of the money Germany has already promised in the 2%, and they are basically only spending half, which they have saved since 2014 to now from the promised money of the Whale Summit. And 2% is by far not enough. We have to raise to 4% in the terms of escalation level we are in with Russia. And I call again for a boycott and import stop of Russian energy in Austria completely and in Germany. And immediately, the British again, they say end of the year we will stop. End of the year, the war is then in month number 11. Do you want to continue 11 months of Vietnam-style war next to us? This is of course absolutely outrageous to think like that. And European solidarity, when you have the Ukrainians smashed under the Russian tanks. What is then the European solidarity here? I mean, we are all united. United in treason, in neglect, in reckless negligence. I want to understand our policy, and I cannot. Obviously, Ukraine has to join NATO. Obviously, Ukraine has to join the European Union. Obviously, Ukraine needs a currency pact and the euro. Obviously, Ukraine needs to be in the customs union. Obviously, Ukraine must be really delivered a lot of weapons and massively. And obviously, we need to do more. What we are doing at the moment is absolutely outrageously little. And neutrality must obviously be ended. Austrian neutrality, here's the Austrian state president. He has said nothing against Ukraine, and he has not called against Russia. He has not called a single time for peace until the 24th of February. Then was the war, then he entered the debate. Yeah? But the whole 6 and 7 weeks of the first year of this year, he has not made a single statement against Putin for peace or some kind of and there was already this build-up. The American president was calling for peace all the time and warning of the invasion. Austrian president, who is a very big friend of Putin, has said nothing. And all the time it was like this. This is the chancellorship and this is the foreign ministry. You remember, it's very important, when Israel was under attack, you remember that there was the missile crisis, then they put the Israeli flag up. Now, do you see the Ukrainian flag? I don't see it. And it's neutral, morally neutral, politically neutral, and morally bankrupt. This is what Austria is today, and Germany the same, by the way. It's de facto not a NATO ally in any meaningful sense anymore, Germany, under the leadership of Olaf Scholz, and he has also to resign, there is no doubt. This is the absolute bankruptcy of Central European neutralism, and it's an absolute disaster. And I call for governmental change in both countries, for Austria to join NATO, and for a really serious debate about Austrian and German security, because it's absolutely treasonable. And obviously here must be the Ukrainian flag, and it's not. Here must be a different president, a different prime minister, and we need to raise the NATO flag here in the center of Vienna and end this complicitly with Russian energy. And we need an immediate energy boycott and import stop imposed by the European Union today at the European Council meeting, and I call for that. So I'm really absolutely unhappy with our anti-Ukrainian policy. It's a continuation of the treasonable policy of the last 20 years, now escalating under the threat of Russian arms. And I call for the liberation of Mariupol and of Kharkiv. And for Mr. Putin, he should be a war criminal at Den Haag and have the same fate as Mr. Milosevic, his ideological heir and father. That's the situation. Good. More to come for Pax Europiana, for peace. Bye.